Hello everybody, welcome. We're going to be working today with shoulders and the upper back. And as I said in the last session, this is as much for me as it is for everybody else that's out there. More and more people joining us every day, which is amazing. But as I said last, I think on Sunday, I had a serious accident over 18 months ago, and I've only just started doing yoga. So shoulder work is something that's quite difficult for me because I broke my shoulder during when I fell. So like I said, this is as much for me as it is for you guys. So just take it easy. Remember what I said is just to do exactly what you can do, no more, no less, just 100% of what you can do, and each time it will simply improve as we go through this together. Welcome those of you that are in the room as well. Good. All smiling. That'll soon change as soon as we start stretching. No, I'm just joking. All right. So finding a comfortable place on your mat. Here, of course, as I usually say, you can place a cushion under the base of the spine or bolster. This just helps you to relax into the pelvis. We're going to rest the hands gently on the knees, and we're going to close the eyes. So I want you to become aware of the space that you are in. Everything within the space beneath you, between you and the earth beneath you. Your clothes, the mat, maybe the building, or if you're outside, the ground, maybe the grass, the sand. Just become completely familiar, even with the eyes closed, of the space that you are in. The space then above you, and the silence. The space to the right side of the body, and the space to the left side of the body. And now becoming completely conscious that you are the center of this space. And you are not external to this space. You are part of this space. Conscious of the body, sitting on the floor, the breath. Simply watching the inhale and the exhale. Maybe even noticing that as we breathe in, the air is cold. And as we breathe out, the air is warm. Just this gentle sensation in the nose. And now coming up to your mind. I want you to see your mind as a space, much like the space that surrounds you. It is the space that your thoughts travel through. And the more we expand this space, the less important the thoughts become. So today, looking beyond your thoughts and resting deep, deep into the center of your mind, the center point. Here there is no ego, no judgment. It is a place of compassion, peacefulness, and love. And from this point, we can watch everything that surrounds this point. Your body, the breath, the mat, the space that you are in. Everything that surrounds you. Even the sounds. And when you are ready, slowly and gently opening the eyes. Welcome. Good, wonderful. I feel like I could almost go home just after that. That was really nice. You can feel how the atmosphere in the room changes somehow when we focus in this way. So, right, we're coming to the first position today. So I want you to come to the back of the mat, and we're going to come onto the knees. And as I've said before, when we're on the knees, and especially in the beginning, if we need to, we can use a cushion, for example, between the legs, or bolster, which we can take also between the legs, just in sitting on it. Whatever is comfortable for you, so that you don't feel that there's any discomfort in the knees, but just enough that you're supported and can feel like, oh, I can sit here and that's okay. Good. Good. Okay. So I'm going to put a bit of music on. Yes. Sometimes I wish I had my glasses. But I guess we'll just sort of... oh, they're over there. Right. Thank you. These things happen when you're doing live. Yeah. Okay, so supported child. So we're going to move the knees to the side of the mat, and we're going to place the hands on the floor just in front of the knees, and we're just going to gently walk the hands forward, and we're going to bring the elbows to the floor. Then we're going to bring the forehead and nose to the mat. Now again, if you feel that you can't stay with your buttocks on the heels, we can again use the bolster between the legs, exactly, or the cushion, whatever we're comfortable with. We're trying to come to a position where we can have the shoulders nice and relaxed, and forehead and nose to the mat, and buttocks against the heels of the feet. And here, we're just going to relax, allowing the lower back to relax, and the stomach, the hips, knees, even the toes, fingers. As we practice the Yin Yoga, you're going to notice that you're going to notice more and more and more things that mostly we're unaware of. So one of the things I'm going to invite you to do right now is just feel the sensation in both hands. What I mean with that is the mind perceives that both hands are on the floor. But for me, for example, the connection is at the wrist, sides of the thumbs, top of the fingers, there's sort of a space between my hands and the floor. So the concept of hands on the floor become very different when we're practicing Yin Yoga. And this is the same for the whole body. Here we can relax the shoulders just a little bit more. If you want to, moving the elbows out just a little bit more. And if you're feeling that it's a little bit too much in the shoulders, we can move the hands in towards the center of the mat. This will relieve the pressure from the shoulders just a little bit. Or we can leave the hands also straight forward. This, as I said before, is unique to you, what you're feeling. Being completely conscious that this is called yoga practice and not yoga perfect. So this is all about exactly how you are feeling at all times. I'm just going to stay in this position for approximately another 30 seconds. We're going to bring the hands back to the knees. We're just going to gently come up out to the position and bring the knees together. Here we're just going to rest into hero. So again, cushion between the legs, bolster. We place the hands on the knees. And I want you to relax your shoulders. Allow the shoulders to hang down. Imagine that you have a little sort of weight on your elbows that are sort of gently pulling the elbows towards the floor. And we can just gently close the eyes here. Just feel the weight of your arms. Feeling the hands against your legs. The difference in contact from the hands on the floor. Different sensations. Maybe your clothes and your hands, and the mat and the hands. And then we open the eyes. Good. So we're going to come forward with the hands now under the shoulders. And again, we're going to separate the knees to the sides of the mat. Now, sometimes when we start doing these positions, it can be a little bit uncomfortable in the knees. So we can also use cushions just to support a little bit. So if anybody in the room needs an extra cushion? No? Okay. All right. So the knees are at the side of the mat and the hands are directly under the shoulders. And we're going to reach out with the right hand over the mat. So I don't want you to stretch out from the shoulder here. Just take it to your maximum position and then place the hand onto the mat. And then we're going to do the same with the left. So we place it on the mat. And this gives a perfect position from the shoulder to the wrist on both sides. And the hands are approximately parallel with each other. And you're going to come into threading the needle. So we make sure that nothing's out to the side or that's going to be in the way. And we inhale and we exhale, gently pushing the body back. Now, we're going to twist the spine here now and bring the left shoulder to the mat and look out under your right arm. So here we're just relaxing the back, the upper back. We just have this gentle rotation, and here we want to relax as much as possible. So again, I want to encourage you to relax the hips here, allow the stomach to be heavy, down towards the mat. Nice thing about Yin Yoga is we don't have to hold the stomach in, the one that hangs over your belt. You just allow it to hang there and be happy just for its being happy. So we just gently breathe. Allow the breath to be as normal or as natural as possible. And just occasionally in Yin Yoga we can just take a deep breath. We feel how the body lifts away from the floor. And then a long exhale and feel how the body sinks back down into the floor, even deeper into the position. And this we can watch while we're breathing, even when the breathing is natural. So you'll find that each time the body relaxes with the exhale, it just releases just that little bit more. Sometimes I teach people to, for example, say quietly in their mind while they're practicing, in each exhale just saying, relax. And Julia, another client of mine, told me last week that she basically just thinks it's going to be okay. It's okay. It's okay. I think it's a rather beautiful thing to say as well. So either relax or it's okay. Good. So we gently inhale as we come up out of the position. And we're going to bring the left hand out parallel to the right. And exhale gently back with the hips again. And we're going to bring the right shoulder to the mat. And we're looking out under the left arm. So here we're just allowing the arm to be heavy onto the mat. So we're not trying to press back towards the hips, just resting the hand on the mat. The whole of the arm is basically up in the air, up to your shoulder. And we have this slight rotation in the upper back. You might feel some stretch around the shoulder blades, especially here on the right side of the upper back. And of course, gently looking out to now the left, under the left arm. Again, encourage you to relax your hips, lower back, allow the stomach to hang down, knees are nice and relaxed, ankles, fingers and toes, and of course, both shoulders. Good. We gently inhale and come out of the position and bring the right hand out parallel to the left. Good. Okay, so we're going to go directly into melting heart. If you just watch me here, you can just wait and just watch. Before we've been going back, we bring the elbows to the mat and then we bring the hand into the inside of the elbow. But we're not going to do that today. So we check that the hands and the arms are still in the same position. Knees are at the sides of the mat still. We inhale, exhale back. We are going to bring the elbows to the mat, but this time we're going to bring the forehead and the nose to the mat without your buttocks coming to the feet. So now forehead and nose to the mat. And here we want to relax the upper back and the chest. If there's a little bit too much in the shoulders for you at the moment, you can actually move the hands to the center of the mat and even place the hands on top of each other. You'll notice that that just brings a little bit of extra relaxation into the shoulders, allows the shoulder blades to slide forward up towards your head, and the rotation in the shoulders is a little bit more when we have the hands together. You can of course have the hands out as well. I'm encouraging you at the moment just to rest the elbows, relax the shoulders, lower back, again stomach hanging down happily towards the mat. I want you to imagine your heart in the center of your chest, just hanging in the center of the chest. It's actually supported by the earth beneath us, the gravity. It's just helping it rest gently in the chest. If you watch carefully, you can see or feel and hear sometimes the heart beating. As we open the senses more and more to exactly what is happening in this precise moment in time. Relax the lower back just that little bit more, the hips, and of course the shoulders and the upper back. Now you might find, as I'm feeling right now, that the neck starts to get a little bit stiff, and this is because as we breathe the upper back is going to relax. So for me, I'm just going to gently lift the head, lengthen the neck just a little bit, and place the forehead down again, and this helps the upper back relax even more. So I'm very conscious at the moment that my left shoulder is not feeling particularly good, so I'm going to move the hands in towards the center. And as I said many times before, there seems to be some kind of myth going around that you're not allowed to move in Yin Yoga. This is simply not true. You're not supposed to be sitting or in a position and suffering. You want to just relax as much as possible and just allow everything to be exactly as it is. We can, of course, rest the head onto a cushion if we want. And if it's too much, you just come out of the position. We've got about another 15 seconds at the moment just to relax into this position just a little bit more. Let the chest come just that little bit closer to the floor. Maybe use that breath one more time. Long exhale all the way down. We gently lift the head, we come back up onto the hands, and we move the hands back. And we're going to bring the knees together in the center of the mat. We're going to rest the hips just a little bit so we come back with the buttocks to the feet again. And as we lift the upper body, the hands will naturally slide over the mat and up onto your knees. Again, we have relaxed the shoulders. Allow the elbows to be as heavy as possible, and allowing the shoulders just to sink down towards the floor just that little bit more. Almost feeling like the neck becomes longer as we do this. You might notice also that you're sitting just that little bit deeper onto your feet or down onto the cushion, which is kind of interesting because, well, that just happened automatically. So it always fascinates me how much happens during Yin Yoga by basically doing nothing at all. As humans, we're used to, if something is going to get done, we have to sort of make an effort. And it's exactly the opposite in Yin Yoga. It gives the mind the space to relax, and we give the body the space to relax. And it goes even deeper than that. We're not forcing the body to relax. we're just basically asking the earth beneath us, or the gravity, to take responsibility for the relaxation. Good. We gently open the eyes. And again, we often use this position for resting between other positions and allowing the body again to relax. So we're going to come forward now into the next position. There is a word for this position which I'm going to ask somebody in the room. I'm going to ask Julia to say it because I can't say this word and it's hilarious. Okay, what's the word? What is the word, please?
Sphinx.
I can't say it. I can't. All right. So fortunately for me, the position is also sometimes called seal. So we're going to come forward down onto the mat. It doesn't really matter how we do it, as long as it's as lazily as possible. And we come down to the stomach. You can have the feet together in the center of the mat here. I'm going to come forward so my feet don't disappear out of the picture. So feet are together, and we're going to bring the elbows under the shoulders. Now not out to the sides, so the shoulders hang down, but straight under the shoulders. So look to the right now, make sure that the elbow is directly under the shoulder. And then left side, same thing. We check that the left side is okay. And this is very similar to the position that in Hatha Yoga and many other forms of yoga, which is called sort of half cobra. But basically in half cobra, the difference is that we're actually trying to lift the body with the back muscles. So if I was doing this position in Hatha Yoga, it would be like this. However, in the Yin Yoga, we do exactly the opposite. We just relax and we sink down into the shoulders and let the head sit on the top. This is also why this position is sometimes called seal. Okay, so you can imagine you sort of in the middle, and then just relax down onto the mat. Having some humor in yoga sometimes is very healthy. So if you've turned on the YouTube channel and you're looking for a really serious yoga lesson, you're probably in the wrong class. It's just to relax. Seriously, just let yourself be exactly who you are and just be. So here I can feel that the more I relax the upper back, the more the chest again sinks down automatically towards the mat. I've noticed that in the beginning of this position my stomach was on the mat, but not my ribs. Now the first set of ribs is actually on the mat. And all the support basically is coming from the elbows to my shoulders, and the body is just sitting in this position. There's no effort, because the upper arms to the elbows are simply supporting everything. Also, a little tip here is to not press the heels together. Allow the heels to slightly fall out to the sides, and you'll feel how that just allows the lower back to relax. Just occasionally taking a deep breath, feel how the body lifts up away from the floor. And a long exhale, and just feel again how the body sinks down into the position, even deeper into the floor. You can close the eyes. Just feeling the position. Again, allow the breath to be completely natural, without control. Not making any sound in the breath. Just these last few seconds, maybe relaxing the hips just that little bit more. Lower back, definitely upper back. And the shoulders, allow the shoulder blades to sort of slide in towards each other, just that little bit more. It's so nice. And then we release the position. So we're going to come back to the knees. So again, there's no specific way to get back to the knees. It's just that we do it as lazily as possible. Sitting down onto the feet. And of course we come back into hero position. Make sure that you're comfortable again. Rest the hands onto your knees. Elbows heavy. Shoulders. And again, feeling as we relax the shoulders in this way, how the neck feels like it's getting longer and longer. We're completely relaxed in the back, but somehow the spine is straighter and the crown is closer to the top of the space that we are in. Maybe it's the sky above you or the ceiling of the room. And then, again, we gently open the eyes. It's so nice. I feel really good. Good. All right. So as I said in the beginning of the program tonight, this is as much for me as for you guys. So and it's so nice for me to feel that my shoulders starting to work properly again. It's so nice. Being able to lift up my arms, it's great. So again, a little bit at a time. For those who are joining new this evening, basically the way I teach yoga is to just relax as much as possible, and that is even when I'm teaching Hatha yoga. We're not forcing the body to do anything. In fact, the best tip that I can give you, and the one that I learned first when I first started doing yoga 36 years ago, is that what we're doing is just allowing each position to improve by maybe 1 millimeter a week. And what my first teacher asked me was, how many millimeters would that be in 1 year? And I started thinking about, okay, that's 5 centimeters. When I started doing yoga, I'm not joking, I was so physically handicapped that I couldn't get my fingers down to my knees in forward bending. And I just thought, well, wait a minute, that gives me hope, because maybe after a year my fingers will come past my knees. So I started thinking, well, maybe there is something to this weird sort of thing that people call yoga. And now, years later, I'm actually a yoga teacher, so I mean, that's why I say anything is possible. Really, I'm serious. Anything is possible. And the last thing I'm going to say about these small millimeters, 1 millimeter a week, is that for me, I made the mistake, or didn't understand, that for me, I thought fingers past the knees, 5.2 centimeters. But the fact was that it was 1 millimeter in every single direction, which gave me this much, not this much. So just allow a little bit all the time, and it becomes a lot. And we start to feel in the body that something's changing, and it just feels nice. So, talking about doing something and changing, we're going to sit now down onto the mat. So I want you to encourage you to sit down to one side, doesn't matter whether it's the right or the left, and we're going to sit on the mat. Now, we're going to have the feet slightly apart here, and I'm going to ask you to take a cushion. If you have a long cushion like this, if you're going to come to these kind of classes a lot, these are available basically anywhere, and you can just buy one for yourself, have it at home, and it's nice to sit on, or even in the sofa, support the lower back. But here, what we're going to do is we're going to place this just behind the back, basically against your lower back. All right? And it's straight down the center of the mat. And this position is called supported fish. Now, I have no idea why it's called supported fish. I've never seen a fish lie on one of these cushions before, but somebody obviously thought it was a good idea. Basically, we take one elbow to the floor and we come down onto the bolster or the cushion or whatever else we have behind the back. Now, we'll notice that the lower back is encouraging the buttocks to stay on the floor. This gives us a natural curve into the lower back, which allows the upper back to relax just that little bit more. Also, you'll notice that the feet can now fall out to the sides. So allow the feet to be heavy out to the sides. And eventually you'll be so relaxed that your sides of the feet are going to be on the floor. It doesn't matter if that's not the case right now. I know we're not really working with the lower back and the hips and that sort of thing, but these things just happen. And for me, I now have the sides of the feet on the floor. It feels very nice. Body is heavy onto the mat. And here we have a choice. We can either have the hands under the back of the neck. So I'm just going to place the hands here, and the elbows are going to be heavy out from the side of the cushion that's behind the back. And we can also use just ordinary cushions. It doesn't have to be this long cushion. It just has a little bit more support. And some of you, I remember when I first started doing this position, it was extremely uncomfortable, especially in my chest. So if you're feeling that, then I'm going to encourage you to just place your hands onto your chest and allow both elbows to be on the floor beside you. So hands are resting against the chest, elbows on the floor. Now I want you to be very conscious that this actually has exactly the same effect on the shoulders as it would if the hands were under the head. So this is entirely up to you. Where we have the hands, and you might think, oh well, I'll try that because it looks quite nice, and then you put the hands under the head, and about 30 seconds later you're thinking, no, that's not so nice. So you put the hands then on your chest. There is no hurry. As I said, when I started doing yoga, I was extremely physically handicapped. It took me over 10 years to get my fingers to my toes. When I was 21, I was sitting in a wheelchair. I'd spent 9 months in hospital not being able to use my legs. So I think I said in the class that I find it sort of fascinating that at the age of 63 I'm actually more healthy and more supple and more strong and relaxed than I was when I was 21. And I'm not sure there's so many people in the world that can actually say that and mean it with honesty and integrity. So here again, I'm going to encourage you to relax the shoulders. If the hands are behind the head, allow the elbows to become even heavier. And notice now the weight of the head in your hands. Allowing the fingers to be completely relaxed, so we're not holding the head in any particular way. You feel the weight of the head in the hands, if the hands are under the head. Again, we can take this long, deep breath. What I'd like to do here is breathe all the way down to the abdomen, belly or stomach as it's sometimes called. So, and then a long exhale and just feel again how the body sinks even deeper onto the cushion. Knees are relaxed. And just during this last minute in this position, I want you now to become aware of the air against your skin. This is something we don't normally experience, but just feeling the air against your skin and the difference in temperature maybe between your skin and the air. And maybe even the movement in the air. Maybe you're outside and you just feel the breeze passing over your body. Or if we're inside, often we can feel the ventilation. For me here, I can feel it on my elbows and my toes, soles of my feet, my forehead. And you can almost feel the air traveling over your body from one place to another. As I said, this is nothing that we normally notice, but in Yin Yoga we have the time to watch. You remember in the meditation in the beginning, it was talking about sitting in the center of your mind and simply watching everything outside this point. And all of these things that I'm talking about are outside the center point of your mind. Even the sounds or the vibrations in the air that we perceive as sound. Good. So we're gently going to come out of the position. Those of you with your hands behind the head, we slowly slide the hands out from behind the head. So your head returns to the cushion or sometimes to the floor or whatever we have underneath us. And we move the elbows back to the mat. Now, to come off the mat, you can choose to go right or left, and we just sort of roll off the mat, or down to the mat, from the cushion behind the back. And we're going to here bend the knees up, and here we can use a cushion under the head, or again the bolster if you need to, and just rest the head onto this and allow the right shoulder to be relaxed. Right arm is straight out, or in a comfortable position. For me it's about 45 degrees. And just rest here. Allow the left shoulder to become as heavy as possible, so they're falling down towards the floor. Good. Now we can release the head from the cushion and keep the cushions so that you can reach them. We're going to roll back onto the mat now, so we're going onto the back. So basically, just going to lie down onto the mat. I want you to first start with the legs straight. So we're going to bring the feet together. And this is not for any more reason than to just have the feet in the correct place to start. So we're now going to bring the left foot to the inside of the right knee. So the ankle bone parallel with the knee joint, if you like. And then we're going to bring the right foot beside the left foot. Make sure that the lower back here is on the mat, so you can sort of lift the pelvis a little bit away from the mat. You can press the heels into the floor here, and then just place the lower back onto the mat. So just rocking the hips left to left, right to right. Make sure everything's really relaxed. Now, we're going to bring the cushion, which I said that you should have somewhere available, and the top of the cushion here, I want you today to have this approximately level with the heart in the chest, or the chest bones, or the rib cage. And we're going to come into a spinal twist. So we're going to now, today, do a different position in the spinal twist. We're going to bring both knees into your stomach and just hold the knees with both hands. So here we just again want to relax as much as possible. We then roll over to the right so that both knees come down onto the cushion beside you. So we just roll out to the side. There. So now we're resting on the cushion, and all we do now is just open both shoulders and bring both arms 90 degrees out from your shoulders. In the beginning, it can be nice to look to the right hand. And again, sometimes we feel quite a bit of stretch in the left side. I remember very clearly when I was first started doing this position, my arm was up here somewhere because of the muscles in the chest were quite short. And eventually the hand will come to the floor. You can have a cushion here as well, if you need to, or even a block. So whatever's comfortable for you. After we've been looking at the right hand, we can maybe check or just see if it's okay to look towards the center of the top of the room or just to the sky above you. Relax the hips just a little bit more so the knees rest down onto the cushion. And if it's nice and relaxed for you to look to the top of the room, you can start to think about the shoulder blades, both shoulder blades on the mat. Lower arms and the elbows, and then basically turning the head and looking all the way to the left hand. So we get this full rotation through the back, and this is particularly for the upper back and gently up into the neck. So this takes maybe a little bit of time. So we start again, we're looking out to the left, or to the right, sorry, and then slowly as we more and more relaxed into this position each week or each month, we end up looking to the left hand. Good. So we're going to now return both feet to the mat, center of the mat. This will bring the lower back onto the mat. So we have the knees together. Again, we check that the lower back is now again on the mat. Then we take the cushion, the bolster, and we put it now on the left side of the body. Again, top of the cushion, approximately level with your heart or the chest. We bring both knees into the chest again. We take the hands around the knees, and then we gently roll out to the left so that we come down onto the cushion. Good. Then we can release the knees. We then gently open the shoulders and bring the arms out 90 degrees from the body. And again, this time looking out to the left in the beginning until we have this gentle rotation, becomes more and more in the upper back and the neck. What we're working really with here, or where we're not working, depending on how you look at it, is in the soft tissues between the bones of the spine. And if each of these spaces between the bones of the spine just releases just that little bit more, then we have this rotation through the whole of the back, and eventually we can start to look again towards the top of the room if you're comfortable. Make sure both shoulder blades are on the mat and that both knees are still down on the cushion, and then eventually we can start to look to the right hand, feeling this full rotation through the upper back and the neck. Relax the shoulders, the upper back, relax the chest and the lower back, so everything's sinking down into the floor. I have workshops sometimes where you have like 2.5 hours of yin, and it's an interesting experience because basically the floor starts to not feel solid or like a floor anymore. It's like you become part of the floor, like you sort of melt into the floor. Sort of without mind, body or form. The mind just relaxes to the point where it's not making judgments anymore, right or wrong, or how it should or should not be. Good. So we now bring the feet back to the center of the mat. We can start with the right foot, of course. And then left foot, and then we notice when we do this that the lower back comes back onto the mat. So we make sure the lower back is completely in contact with the mat. We can bring the hands into your chest, so we completely relax the upper back and the shoulders. If you wish to, you can have a cushion under the back of the head. And here we're going to move the feet out to the corners of the mat. And here we want to make sure again that the lower back stays as much as possible in contact with the mat. And then completely relax. So for me at the moment, I'm feeling very much like I have a lot of extra space in the upper back, sort of between the shoulder blades. In some way it just feels like a little bit more space or relaxation there. At the same time, I'm also feeling the chest bone between the ribs. It's sort of expanding and contracting with the breath in a slightly different way. Still with the hands on your chest, I want you to take a deep breath again. Feel how the hands press up towards the top of the room or the space. Fill the lungs and then exhale slowly and feel again how everything changes. The hands drop down towards the floor, the chest gets smaller. And then again, we just relax the breath, allow it to be completely natural. And just watch this constant movement of the body as we breathe. And if you're lucky, you might even still feel the air against your skin and the movement in the air. And maybe even a small smile on the lips. Sometimes it's just nice to let go and relax. Good. So we're now going to bring the feet together in the center, and we're going to come to the last position for today. So again, to come up from the mat, I want you to place the left foot on the inside of the right knee, and then place again right foot beside the left. We're now going to roll out again up onto the right shoulder. You can go onto the left if you wish, it doesn't really matter. You just come out to the side. So again, you can have a cushion here. We're going to rest again in this sacred space. Head on the cushion or the bolster. Right arm again nice and relaxed, or the left arm depending on which side you've gone to. Shoulder again heavy, the one at the top if you're on the left or the right. It's just the shoulder, allow the shoulder to sink down, elbow heavy. Good. Now, the leg that is on top of whichever knee you have against the floor, this is confusing if you, but anyway, this top knee, we're just going to straighten that leg. Good. Place then the upper shoulder, the hand of the upper shoulder against the floor, just in front of the chest. And then we're going to press gently in and roll up out of the position. I want you to feel the resistance of the body to actually leave the floor. It feels somehow heavier than usual. And you come back and you come to a sitting position. And once we're in this sitting position, whether the legs are crossed or with the back straight, doesn't really matter. Just come in so you can settle into this position, and then suddenly feeling how now the body is okay with, okay, now we're sitting. Good. Just that feeling that it's okay. Just as Julia said to me, it's okay. Feel the weight of your hands on your knees, the shoulders, and the upper back. Good. So as I said, we're coming to the last position, and we're pretty much going to finish today as we started. So I'm going to come to the back of the mat again on the knees. So again, cushion between the legs, under the ankles. Maybe you still want to have the bolster in the middle, or maybe you want to see if it's just changed. Just experiment a little bit. There's no hurry here. And we're going to finish today after this position with a nice long relaxation meditation. So for this last position again, we're going to come into child. We're going to have the arms extended. So it's a little bit of, the same as the melting heart, but just a little bit different for the shoulders. So again, we're going to move the knees out to the sides of the mat. This is going to help the lower back relax just that little bit more, which allows the upper back to relax as we come forward. So at the moment, toes together at the back of the mat. And of course we can do this with the feet straight out to the back and just sit down between the feet as well. But this is often later. So we bring the toes together, knees to the sides of the mat. Good. So we're going to bring the hands again to the floor, just like we did in the beginning. And we're going to walk the hands forward until we can get the forehead down to the mat. Now, sometimes we're just lying down onto the bolster, so we're just relaxing the lower back. What's important here is that we have still contact with the buttocks and the feet. And we're going to bring the forehead and nose to the mat or down to a cushion if that's more comfortable. And then we're going to cross the arms over each other and bring the forehead up onto both hands. So the elbows are out to the sides, a nice straight line through the lower arms out to the elbows. You can lift the head and just check that. And then place the head onto both hands. And again, in this position, we want the stomach as heavy as possible. We allow the shoulders to sort of roll forward in this position. Allow the shoulder blades to sort of fall out towards the sides. It's almost creating a little bit more space between the shoulder blades in the center of the upper back. Again, for me, here as the upper back is relaxing just that little bit more, I'm just going to lift my head, and move the elbows forward and hands slightly forward, and come a little bit deeper and rest the head again down onto the hands. So I want you to feel here in this last position how the earth wants to support you. Looking at each point of contact between your body and the floor or the ground beneath you. Elbows. One of the hands is in contact with the mat, the other is not. Both elbows. Shoulders are relaxed. There's space between the body and the floor. It's almost as if the space is holding you up away from the floor. So you can even relax down into that space. It's like, as I said on Sunday, it's like sort of, like the body's like a hammock, just hanging between two trees. Just relax. Relaxing the hips and the knees, toes and fingers, the wrists and the shoulders, the upper back. Maybe you can move the stomach just a little bit deeper towards the floor. This is such a simple position, but it's so beautiful to experience. The sounds that surround you, the space. Just for these last few seconds, returning to the center point of your mind, beyond your thoughts, and simply watch from here. The breath, the body, the mat, the sounds, the space beneath you and above you, to the right side, to the left. You are always the center point of your universe, and you have the right to be there. Being completely peaceful with yourself. Good, so we're going to come up out of the position. You can bring the hands back to the knees if you wish and just gently come up. We bring the knees together in the center. Sit down onto the feet just this one last time. For me, I'm noticing I'm sitting down between the heels. Hips are nice and relaxed, the knees are relaxed. And for this last time, just allowing both elbows to be as heavy as possible. Close the eyes. Again, feel this almost lengthening of the neck. At the moment I'm feeling the ventilation circling around my neck, my arms. And then we gently open the eyes. We of course finish as always in Savasana, so please lie on the back. Make sure that you're feeling as comfortable as possible, maybe having a blanket over your body, or maybe putting on a jumper or socks. If your cat's called Socks, don't put him on your feet. That's an inside joke for one of the people watching. Alright, so we're lying gently down onto the floor and we're going to close the eyes. So just for a few seconds here, just looking again through the whole body with the eyes closed. We're aware again of each point of contact between the body and the floor. The space. And just this beautiful, balanced support from the earth beneath you in a perfect balance. Not too much, not too little. A perfect balance between you and the earth beneath you. to now go even deeper into relaxation. So it's a little bit of a guided meditation. They're just settling onto the mat, noticing the breath, the gentle rise and the fall of the body as we breathe. The stillness of the breath and the stillness of your body and the stillness of your mind. I want you now to take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through your mouth. Just 2 or 3 times. It's in your own time. Become again conscious of the space of your mind. The space that your thoughts travel through. And again, remembering that you are the center point of this space and the center of your universe. Everything outside this center point is simply an experience. The sounds, the space, the floor beneath you, your clothes, your thoughts, and the support from the earth holding you. Allow your body to soften naturally, releasing any tension, whether you're aware of it or not. Shifting your attention now to the natural flow of your breath without controlling it. Again, watching the gentle rise and fall of the body as the body breathes. If you find yourself controlling the breath in any way, simply let it go and watch from the center of your mind, almost as if you were sleeping and watching at the same time. With each breath, feel your shoulders and upper back soften even more. Let go of any effort or resistance. Allow your pure presence to unfold and breathe with you. Notice how the breath arises and almost dissolves effortlessly. Each inhale draws you deeper into presence, and each exhale releases any discomfort or distractions. Now, silently repeat the word Sat with each inhale. Sat. Sat. Feel the presence of something eternal within you, your true self, beyond time and change. Now release the word Sat and create conscious awareness. Contemplate to yourself, who am I? Beyond my thoughts, my roles, and my labels. Rest in the awareness that you are pure existence, always present and always whole. Now, with each inhale, mentally repeating to yourself the word Chit. Chit. And feel your awareness expanding. Observe your thoughts without judgment, realizing and recognizing that you are the silent observer behind them. Let go of the need to control the mind. Simply rest in the vast, limitless space of awareness. Be aware of the thoughts as they pass through the space of your mind, without attachment to the thoughts. Let them pass like drifting clouds. Now, each time you inhale, repeating to yourself silently, Ananda. 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 And as you exhale, smile gently. Ananda. Bring your awareness to the deep peace and joy that already exist within you. Again, if thoughts arise, let them pass like small white clouds moving across the vastness of a clear blue sky. Gently return to the stillness of blissful being. Recognize that true happiness is not outside you. It is your natural state. For these last few moments, let go of the words Sat, Chit, Ananda, and simply rest in the awareness you've created in your body and mind. Feel the peaceful presence within you, beyond your thoughts and beyond any effort. If your mind wanders, gently return to the breath and the feeling of inner bliss. When you are ready, slowly bring awareness back to the physical body and the space that surrounds you. Slowly, and if you wish to, begin moving the fingers and the toes, just gently waking the body. Perhaps placing the hands on your heart and silently whispering to yourself, I am self, consciously watching. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Truth, consciousness, and bliss. Gently opening the eyes, a soft focus in the eyes, and just becoming even more conscious of the space that you are the center of. When you are ready, slowly and gently, please come up. Come to a sitting position, slowly and gently, maybe noticing for the last time that the body does not particularly want to leave the floor. We're going to place the hands together in front of the heart and just gently resting thumbs against the chest. And today we're simply going to thank each other for this time that we have shared together with everyone else that did this class. Take a deep breath. Exhale forward. Inhaling as we come up. And exhaling the hands to the knees, relaxing the shoulders and the upper back. Namaste. If it's the morning for you, have a beautiful day. And if it's the evening, as it is here, then go home and sleep well. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And we'll see you in the next class. Thank you so much for being here.